Okay, let's chat about self-pleasure, sexual intimacy. Don't ask. Okay, so spent a weekend with my friends, went to a wedding, yada yada, and had some conversations with the ladies, a little bit about sex in their relationships. And I really do feel like most relationships are lacking sexual connection, as in we get used to doing the same things over and over again, and some of them have kids, they're married, whatever, and they just kind of like aren't in it to win it anymore when it comes to sex, right? And I think that people just also naturally assume that like sex is supposed to kind of like dwindle and become less part of your relationship as you are in a relationship longer and longer, right? So I'm currently doing a self-pleasure course because I, help people connect to their bodies. And it's important that I am continuously doing the work myself. And I think so many of us, if you're like me, like hold a lot of shame, guilt, and I hold a lot of wounded feminine energy around sex. So meaning like wounded feminine is like manipulation and seduction. And I think I've operated like in this space of like finding safety or comfort in relationships through physical intimacy, because I wouldn't say that the way in which I was having sex was intimate in the past. I would feel like it was more just like this lusty feeling versus sex with intention, sex with love, sex with like a lot of respect between both parties, right? So it's super interesting to look back on. And I highly encourage your own self-evaluation of how you are with your own body, your feelings towards your own body, and how that comes up in your sexual relationships. But I feel like there's a lot of room for growth for even just people my age who are 35, right, in their intimate relationships. And once I finish doing the self-pleasure course, and maybe even coinciding with that, I'd like to do a course with a partner on conscious relationships and sex and intimacy in relationships. And I just think we're not taught to really explore our own bodies, self-pleasure, and also explore sexuality within our relationship. However, you really have to be doing your own work on yourself, not just self-pleasuring work, right? But self-pleasure is your womb space, it's your birthing space, it's your creativity, your life force energy. And just like any other part of your body, working with the womb space is going to release trapped emotions. And so that is like self-pleasure practices are really soul evolution. They are bringing you home to yourself and your authentic self, right? So when you do that, obviously your relationship is going to benefit from that, not just in the physical intimacy side, but in every aspect. Because the more you become comfortable, confident, and aligned with who you are, obviously, the more likely you're going to choose a partner that's the best case scenario for you, and your relationship is going to be able to grow and evolve, right? So I don't do porn in relationships. It's a no-go for me. Just the research on it and dopamine, just like social media alone, no thank you. I have used porn, right? So in a conscious relationship, that is a discussion I'll have with a partner, but something that I typically won't do. I want to get to know myself, my body, and our bodies together without sort of like external influences, because I think that's really powerful. But the thing about this stuff is it can be very uncomfortable, right? So just like in the rest of society, we avoid it and we kind of go into the standard sex and relationships, or we get used to doing one thing, we just do it over and over and over again. And going back to the wounded feminine discussion, like I totally felt like I just used my body as, again, like a way to connect with people that I wasn't connecting with them at all, a way to just kind of avoid my own feelings and my own discomfort with really being with a man who was vulnerable and provided safety. And I just felt like I could kind of like hook these people with the ways in which I, was sexually. And I think a lot of women have had experiences like that. So doing the self-pleasure course, highly recommend. And the work that I've done on myself has allowed me ultimately to get to this point of like being comfortable doing something like this. And I mean, not fully comfortable, it's very uncomfortable. And it brings up a lot of stuff, like I said, but also like the man that I'm connecting with now, he brings a lot of safety to the relationship. And for me, I've never had that before. And it's a totally different game. And I've been talking for like, 2-ish years or whatever the fuck about this divine feminine, divine masculine, safe containers in relationships. And meanwhile, like I've been, the last time I really dated was like a year ago, and then an experience earlier, like this year. And I was like, wow, I'm still repeating these same patterns, right? So it is fucking uncomfortable for me to go towards a safe person, like, and talk about that ick that I've been getting before, right? But I can really, really fucking see how his safety allows for my emotional expression and self-expression and physical expression and intimate expression, right? And it's like, yes, it's uncomfortable because it's growth for me, and it's actually me being vulnerable for the first time in my life, and not just like this superficial vulnerability where I like talk about things vulnerably, but I actually am acting those things now. So I just wanted to get this out there because this is the point of my TikTok is, yes, I do nervous system work with clients. Yes, I train clients in strength and conditioning. But I am fascinated by masculine and feminine energy and conscious relationships, sacred unions, and just that dynamic, because I think this is like truly how we evolve and on our soul path, is this like divine union with people. So, and like all of our toxic relationships too, like those are showing us our wounds, our childhood wounds. So if we can take those and learn from them, and it's like painful in that sense, right? But then it's like you go into like an actual healthy relationship, and that can be very painful too because it's uncomfortable, because now you're like, it's go time. Like now you really have to grow and evolve and get into that discomfort. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, and I'll talk more about the self-pleasure course and intimacy. There's some cool things I want to mention about pussy de-armoring and just pussy honoponopono, if you've ever heard of that. Like, and I'm telling you, like it definitely works. Like you can see on my face, right? Like it's cool to be connecting to my body. So for me, that's like the next evolution of connecting to my body. And I've really been focused on divine feminine. So that's really a wonderful way to connect to divine feminine energy and harmonize the masculine and the feminine energy inside myself, right? Because like I'm both the protector and the receiver, like when you're self-pleasuring, right? So yeah, I'm gonna make a shorter video, but I want to put this out there anyway, so I'm gonna put it on YouTube too.